I want to go back to 2020, obviously, when you announced that you're going to step away from racing full time. Kind of when you announced that you left the door open a little bit. You said if the opportunity comes about, I might be back. We don't know. Was that the intention? Like, was the intention to leave the door open, or were you really kind of just, all right, I'm done with this chapter?
No, honestly, I've been asked that question a couple of times that day and since, but I'd raced pro stock to that point for nearly 20 years, and so it's been a major part of my life, being on, with the NHRA and with the fans and traveling the circuit for that time frame, and I've enjoyed majority of my time. I will say more than the majority of my time in doing so. But I was always constantly juggling between my racing commitments, our family business commitments, and actually personal commitments and family commitments. So I was just kind of at a crossroads. I'd had previous what I call gap years, where I just had things going on in my life that I just needed to pause my professional racing career, and did so. I think in '06, 11, and maybe 15. Those were not any sort of retirements by any stretch, but this one in 20 was a legit effort to step away from the sport. It was enabled me to help assist Troy Jr. To get behind the wheel of the same car I had been driving, with our family colors, yellow and black and jegs on it. So long-windedly, there was just a lot going on with that transition, and that was a genuine transition. You fast forward about a year from that point, at the end of 21, which was not in our scope at that time. At the end of 2020, we had a transition in our family business, the Jegs business that my brothers and I had owned and operated for well over 30 years, following in our father's previous 30 plus years of running the business as well. So I found pretty quickly in year 22, probably halfway through 22 and beyond, that I had a lot of elective time on my hands, and that was not a bad thing. I've been running pretty fast paced since I got out of college in '93, and enjoyed the challenge of having an elective schedule. And you know, so I'll pause there for a minute. I can get long winded, but it was the intent was genuine, and the door was left open because I'm a never say never kind of fella, and with the passion that I've had, and the drive that I've had in the sport, I'm not going to close it completely.
So that kind of goes into the same vein of, the next question I wanted to ask you, which was, I was reading that you still have done some bracket racing and, still been in the seat a little bit the last couple of years. So you kind of alluded to it in your answer earlier, but just what has retirement looked like and felt like for you? Now having more of that elective time, do you find yourself thinking more and more about, man, I really want to be, in the seat of a race car, or just kind of overall, what has that retirement
Yeah,
process been like?
yeah, racing will never, good Lord willing, never leave my day-to-day life. I Samantha and I married about 12, 13 years ago now, and have a 9-year-old daughter. Samantha Kenny, now Coughlin, came from a great racing family out of Canada. Her dad, Al Kenny's a Super Comp world champion in the NHRA, and brother Jason's a multi-time national event and divisional winner, and Samantha is a national event winner in Super Comp as well. So, it was never an intent to step away from the sport entirely. We've done a lot of big money bracket races and some local bracket racing, since the 21 season, 21, 2, and 3, and we still plan on doing much of that together here in 24. The only thing is I've added another 20 to 21 weeks to my year with the NHRA Pro Stock schedule, which I'm excited about. And kind of how that got triggered was, Richard Freeman and I have been really good friends for 20 plus years. We've done a lot of transactions together with buying and selling and building and owning and whatnot together. And he and I always he and I raced together, or we raced together in 2016 through 20, and then obviously Troy Jr. continued. But he had a new car a couple of years ago that he asked if I would come out and shake down and kind of run in a couple of races, and I just didn't feel like the time was right, and gracefully declined. Fast forward to 23, really like mid October or early October, he had given me a ring and asked if I would drive Erica's new car at the last two races of the year, and I was a little more intrigued with that offer again. Being another new car, I was, the championship was kind of unfolding in a positive way for the elite group, and felt like I could possibly do two things. One, enjoy getting back behind the wheel of a pro stock car, which I really, really enjoy driving. One and two, kind of challenge myself to see if this is something I want to do going forward again. As I mentioned, I wasn't ready for that opportunity a couple of years or a year or so earlier. And, when I got to Tulsa to run her brand new car, just a couple days before the Las Vegas event, I made a run and thought, well, that felt pretty nice. And made another run, made a couple more runs. And I think we made 5 runs that day, which is not a lot, but we were very happy with the car. Mark Ingersoll was there kind of helping call the shots. And, Richard and team assembled a group from the various teams that they had to come assist with my car there. And so we were ready for Las Vegas. I met the folks from Skag Power Equipment, Randy and Maria there in Las Vegas, and we really hit it off. Seemed like we really hit it off well. I enjoyed our time together. I enjoyed getting to kind of step into the Skag world, so to speak, which is so unbelievably similar to the family business that I grew up in. Now, granted, this is a 5 or 6 times larger business than our business was, but it's had that wonderful feeling. And as we traversed through the weekend at Vegas, we did well. We got to the semifinals, and I threw in the towel about 3/4 track against Erica. She was outpacing me by about 100.5 or two, and I could see it through my side window. I was like, "Damn!" I know they were in the championship hunt, but we were trying to claw our way through it. And obviously, we fell short there, but it opened up some doors to continue the conversation to maybe reuniting with Pro Stock and with the NHRA Pro Stock crowd. And as we can see, that's just what it did.
So basically, the option to go full time in 2024 with them, that was a result of those 2 races, or was it ever a part of the early conversation of, hey, come see if you like it, and then, maybe you can do it again next year?
No, it was more, come drive the new car and help us, get some in competition runs on it, because there's a real difference between testing and competing. For some reason, we can go to Bradenton, we can go to Tulsa, we can go to Phoenix, we can go to a various number of tracks, and it's just different when it's not NHRA race conditions. And so that really was the goal of that weekend for the new car. The goal on my end was, there could be a potential for this to go somewhere in the future. Let's selfishly take this opportunity and see if I still have the drive, if I still have the competitive juices and the mindset to try and compete with, some of the kids my age and much, much younger.